Hi everyone, my name is Juliana and welcome to my channel. I'm really happy to see you. Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how I take my creative self-portraits. So if you follow me on Instagram, that you know that what I do a lot. And I'm going to show you the whole process from the very beginning to the end. I'm going to show you how I took these shots. While I'm showing you footage, I'm going to comment on that as well. Okay, so before I start, just a quick word why I'm taking self-portraits and why I do recommend it to do it to other creatives as well, to other photographers. Now, there is a few reasons. Reason number one, it's convenience. Because as a photographer, whenever even, I'm not talking now about client shoots, now I'm talking about TFP shoots or creative shoots. So even you work TFP, you still need to organize, right? You still need a model, maybe you need hair, makeup, stylist, lighting assistant, whatever, whoever that might be. As a photographer, you not just have to organize everyone, make sure that it works with everyone's schedule, the day and the time, and that make sure that everyone show up on time and pray that everyone will indeed show up, because as a photographer myself, I've been there when I have model not show up, and I think I don't know a photographer who has never experienced that ever in their life. I think everyone has that experience, and of course that's not a very pleasant one. So obviously when you take creative self-portraits, you don't have to worry of nothing of that. And also this is a freedom, because whenever you collaborate with other professionals, you still under pressure to deliver a quality product. So you still have to deliver something that they can use. And whenever you do everything by yourself, you just don't have that pressure at all, because let's be honest, some shoots sometimes just don't work out. And when you did it all by yourself, you just delete the shoot and you go on with your life, so you don't have to feel pressure to deliver, and you can really be free creatively and try whatever you like. Of course, on the downfall is you have to do everything by yourself. It takes a long time and it exhausts you much faster, just because you have to do multiple jobs. But on the bright side, of course, you will going to see, even though it takes a long time, you still get more and more skilled in whatever other trades, other outlets, such as hair, makeup, or styling, or whatever it is that needed to do extra. And I understand if you're male photographer, for example, I get quite a few male photographers told me that it's easy for me because I'm a female. I understand what you're saying. Yes, obviously females get photographed more rather than males, but again, this is about convenience, that you can try whatever you feel, whatever idea you have, and you don't have pressure to deliver. And of course, if you have maybe a member of the family or a spouse or a very good friend who you can just exploit shamelessly, that's fine. But majority people don't, so they actually arrange TFP, and of course then model expects shoots from you, good shots from you. And it doesn't matter you male or female, you can still adjust the light and see how it works. It doesn't matter, you don't have to show those images to anyone, you don't have to upload them to anyone. Also, I think it's very interesting and beneficial to know how it feels on the other side of the camera. And just being in the model shoes once in a while, I think also very beneficial, because even when you practice poses yourself, you know how they feel. And when you know how they feel, it's easier to direct the model, because you can describe her or him, the feeling, what they're supposed to have, the tension in the muscle where they will get, and explain that if they get in that tension, that's fine. All professional models know that posing, it's work. It takes work, and it takes practice, and it takes knowing your angles. And if you as a photographer practice that a little bit, it will benefit you as well, because it might ease your process of posing someone else. Okay, now I get this out of the way. Let's go to the whole process of the behind the scenes of my creative photo shoot. Okay, so I'm starting with my makeup, eye makeup, and as you see, the skin of my face is bare. I don't use any foundation whatsoever, just because most of my face will be covered with accessory and it's partially textile, and I don't want to risk to stain it with makeup, so I'm just doing my eye makeup. And since all the styling or all the coloring will be black and silver, I keep my eye makeup with gray and black to match my styling. And I need to say that I think in advance what I want to do, and with my styling I usually kind of practice before and create look before I actually even start. And it might be not even the same day. I will take the snapshot, like a screenshot on my phone, and then I will, so I can repeat it whenever I'm ready to shoot. So the idea for this makeup was to create kind of nice defined eye, cat eye, just because it will be eyes will be center of attention for this look, and kind of like oriental cat eye, Arabic type of makeup. Whenever you do the makeup, or you can just keep in mind, even if you're not the one who does the makeup, your model does, or you have a hair and makeup artist, remember that light, bright light, if you do flash photography, it will still eat up the color, and you probably know it already. So even though I use dark colors, I do know they will appear much lighter than I want them to be. So usually, especially when you shoot beauty, be prepared that you will have to return most of the color, the vibrancy and intensity later in post-production. So now the center of attention are Swarovski crystals. I put white large Swarovski crystals in the outer corner of my eyes, and lashes. Always lashes, unless you do editorial, some makeup editorial that does not need any lashes. I would always recommend you to apply, tell your model or tell your hair makeup artist to apply lashes, because they do indeed make a huge difference. And the whole idea for the makeup was to create from the little black Swarovski crystals, create like an eyeliner type of line to emphasize the shape of the eyes, I suppose. One thing about Swarovski crystals, if you can fetch them, that's great. Swarovski crystals do sparkle much more, and they just look much, they do look a little bit different, better. They sparkle better. But it matters only if you shoot close-ups, you plan on shooting beauty shoot, and you can actually see the detail. If you don't, then by all means you can just use rhinestones, because Swarovski crystals, first of all, they're more expensive and they're more harder to fetch, so just rhinestones will do. But if you plan on do close-ups, Swarovski crystals will look much better. They do make difference. Okay, so now when my makeup is done, I'm ready to set my light and set the composition. So I start with my light, and for this photo shoot, I've decided to use Beauty Dish, just because it gives me that much more defined difference between highlights and shadows, and that's what I'm looking for, because the look will be quite dramatic. Also, I've chosen black background because all the styling will be in black colors, and I just like to shoot black on black. I think it looks really nice and very pretty. Also, you see that I've set there a second speed light, and it will be my hair light or rim light. But later on, after I test, after some time, I will going to turn it off, just because I didn't really like the way the fabric that was on my crown. I didn't really like the sheen that it gave in that light, so that's why I turned it off, and I end up using only Beauty Dish. As you see, I position it directly at the center. I don't want any creative shadows. So now that's just basically the process. I'm just going back and forth, back and forth to adjust my light, and there's a battery died in my speed light. And in this photo shoot, it will be so annoying, because first the battery died in my first speed light, later when I start shooting and I will be already all in styling in my camera, it will die, the charge will die for my camera, and then later I will have to choose my speed light, my beauty dish as well, then it will die on me. So like back and forth, it was quite annoying. I'll be honest, it was testing my patience for this photo shoot. So now I'm just and adjusting the frame, make sure that I like the composition of the shot, and that's why I will just go back and forth until I'll be satisfied with the result. Also, you might notice that I use my iPad, I wirelessly connect it, and I use Canon program that you can download from App Store. So what this app does, it gives me the opportunity to see the pictures that I'm taking simultaneously, so it's kind of like a tethering, but pictures not actually uploading anywhere. I just see what I'm taking, just because this camera doesn't have a flip screen. Okay, so I'm done with the lighting, and now I can do with the styling. And so this look I already it was I created before. Sometimes I play around in my studio, and I take pictures of the looks, and then when I'm ready to shoot, I already know what I'm going to do. So that, as you see, I use this is actually a necklace that I've created years ago, and I secure it on my head with some pins. And so this is a necklace that I position on my face in the shape of the mask, and I think it looks really, really nice and dramatic. And of course, tulle is always a great addition when you do creative portraits. I think if you have a studio, tulle very inexpensive, and you can it's really a great fabric to drape. It looks very good on camera, so I would suggest you to have a few pieces of tulle in your studio. You will use it many, many times. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. Now the charge on my camera is died, and it was really uncomfortable to change everything. That's why I try to do everything before I put my styling on, because now I understand why queens and kings didn't really do many things at all. They have servants, just because whenever you have all those things, crowns and jewelry and everything on you, then it's really uncomfortable to even move, not mentioning actually doing anything. So finally I'm start shooting, and now I'm going to put some music for myself, because I like to, whenever I'm taking pictures and I'm already getting into my model mood, I like to turn on some music. It really puts me in the mood, and I actually had a minute to kind of get in the vibe, because it's very important when you're modeling, and it's very important to be in a certain mood. And obviously it's important when you shoot models as well, to keep them in a nice mood. Okay, so now when I'm all set with the music, I'm ready to shoot. So now I'm draping my tulle fabric around me to create that kind of very airy and magical look. That's what I like to do a lot. I will not go into, and as you see the process now, so that will be the process overall, just posing. So later on I've decided to add some gloves, because I thought that it will look even better if with the gloves. The composition wise, I felt that it will add to the look. So as you see, the footage of me actually taking pictures not that long, and the reason was because this particular styling was, I always had to keep in check that I'm properly covered, because I know that I'm recording it for YouTube, so I couldn't really relax and just do my creative thing, because I always have to make sure that I'm just all wrapped up nicely. And it was just inconvenient because I couldn't really relax and concentrate on taking great pictures. But that's basically it. That's how I took the pictures, and that's the process of the shoot. Now, I used 50mm Canon 1.8 lens to take majority of my portraits. Later, I've changed to 70 to 200mm to do the beauty shot, to do very close-up of the makeup per se. And I also changed the lighting. I put the grid on my beauty dish. So if you don't know what grid is, it looks like a net, like a honeycomb net, and you apply it. Is a modifier for a beauty dish, and what it does, it dims the highlights and it creates, so it narrows the light more. It still preserves that effect that beauty dish has, that difference between highlights and shadows, but it dims highlights significantly, and it creates like very dramatic mood to it, and I really like. I do use grid quite often, so that's what I was using for the close-ups for the beauty shot. Now let's go to the pictures, see what I actually take. Okay, so here's the first image that I took, and now this is, you see, the way it came out from the camera in terms of any light or color adjustments. This image is retouched. It just I adjust the makeup a little bit and smooth down the skin, but that's about it. All that you see, the light and the colors, everything is the way it came out of the camera. And here's the what I came up with. I just adjust, I add a little bit texture because I want, to me, it really speak like a painterly style type of thing, and I just wanted to emphasize that feeling, so I just add some background texture. If you want to know how I did that, I believe I have a video on my channel, and it's about how to create painterly portrait, and I believe that will be volume 2. Volume 1, I show how to take painterly portrait, and in volume 2, video number 2, you will see how to create this texture, so you can check that out. Here's this next portrait again, same, it's just a little bit makeup and edit, like perfected a little bit, and I just smoothed out the skin a little bit, but everything else is the way it came out of the camera. There is no adjustment, no Lightroom adjustment, no adjustment whatsoever. This is the way it came out of the camera. And whenever I saw this shot, it actually reminds me of, I don't know why, but it kind of had to me like a steampunk vibe, even though the styling itself not steampunk at all. Maybe it's the mask, it's hard to tell, but that's how I felt when I looked at this image. So that was the idea that I wanted to emphasize on. So here I've created a texture. I add some gears and kind of steampunk texture to emphasize that idea even more. And obviously I add some tone to create it kind of more picturesque feeling. Let me know in the comments, do you feel kind of, do you have like this steampunk feel to it when you saw that image as well? That was my vision of it, so that's what I emphasize by creating those additional adjustments in post-productions, since such as background and toning. Okay, so the next, this shot exactly just as the other ones. This is the way it came out of the camera. So here's the thing, I don't really like to have many same or similar shots, so I like to go creatively with them, and that shoot was one of like that, just because the look itself very dramatic. I don't really like to edit pictures in the same way. I just want to push myself creatively and really think of something different. So here I went creatively with the toning. As you see, I colored everything separately, background, and I add some color, and now this one look way more editorial, more like a cover for the magazine or something of that sort, completely different feel to it. And later I added some stars. So let me know what you think. Do you like with stars or without? I thought that with stars it looks even more intricate. You kind of get the vibe of the princess, of the like Arabic princess or something like that, and I really like that. So I think now first image without the stars to me look like more like editorial image, and with the stars to me it looked more like a complete artwork. Okay, so the next picture, again, here as you see, this is without the adjustment, the way it came from the camera, excluding obviously little, obviously there is makeup already adjusted and skin already adjusted. So for this look I went dramatic with dramatic composites. To me it was dark princess or dark priestess or something of that matter, something like a fantasy character, and that's what I wanted to emphasize. So I've created this dramatic background. I added moon and some birds, and of course I toned it accordingly to emphasize the mood as well. So this is much more kind of fine art portrait rather than editorial, of course. So here's the close-up, makeup close-up that I told previously about. This one I took with the 70 to 200 millimeter. I believe my lens was on 70 millimeter, and this one with the beauty dish with a grid. So this is the original image, and this is with adjustments. So as you see, I bring up more contrast. I wanted to emphasize this contrast between light skin and dark mask, and I adjusted a makeup a little bit more as well. And lastly, I turned off all the flashes and I took a few shots with natural light only, just because I love natural light a lot, and I never choose between artificial lighting or natural light because they just both so different, and I feel the vibe of the portrait looks so much different. This is the way it came out of the camera, and this is with adjustments. So as you see, I bring up the lights and highlight. I lightened a little bit more. I'll be honest, with this last portrait, I'm not set on the editing 100% yet. Maybe I will want to change it. I don't know. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will going to see what I will come up with it. So I don't know, maybe I will go further with editing this particular portrait with a natural light. We will see. Okay, so there was the images that I took for this photo shoot, and now you saw all the process behind it, and you saw how I did that. Let me know if you like it, and please thumbs up if you want more videos like that, more behind the scene type of videos like that. And let me know in the comments also if you have some suggestion. What would you like me to see to create video about, then I would definitely consider it. Let me know in the comments again. If you want to see more of my photography work, please follow me on Instagram. It's @yurinaichi_photo. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will be very happy to see you next time. Okay, that was it for this video. Bye!